Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks for Saturday, February 8th, 2020. We're back in studio. We got a regular show again. Had a lot of fun last week with the live stream. Couldn't believe how many people joined us for that. And the number of people who actually came back and watched the replay. I'm not watching the replay. But do so appreciate it. We had quite a few people stopping in and saying hello, and a lot of folks that hung around for the whole show. So thanks so much if you did that. I hope you enjoyed our video on Wednesday, walking from the Sahara to the Strat. We'll have another walking video coming up this Wednesday, and a couple more videos into the future. And also keep in mind, Wednesday nights are probably going to be a semi-regular live stream. So if you enjoyed last Saturday, hopefully you'll come along on some of those live streams. Before we get started, as always, it's time for a few housekeeping notes. So it's a big week for the Vegas Tips and Tricks staff. Yes, we have a staff. We have like an empire of people that contribute to this channel and contribute to our Facebook group. So wanted to let you know we've got, of course, Mark Pennies for Vegas is out in Las Vegas for the next week. My good friends T&G from Good Times, no, not from my Good Times production. My good friends T&G from Vegas Best Ideas, and the infamous Anastas617. His channel is blowing up these past couple of months, so he's going to be in Vegas. So you're going to want to watch out for some fresh new video from those folks. And in addition, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have contributors to this show. There's going to be people on the screen besides me. You're not going to have to look at my face for 15 minutes a week. We've got a couple of people that are going to be contributing. And I wanted to give you a little preview tonight, a little teaser, because next week we're going to begin a brand new segment. I don't know if it's going to be a weekly segment. Could be every other week. It just kind of depends, but we're kind of excited about it. You know, what is Vegas all about? It's all about gambling. It's all about nightlife. It's all about cocktails. I was brainstorming with a few people, and I think we got to give a little shout out to Ben Heath, another vlogger from merry old England, and his cocktail of the day, I think, surely inspired the idea. But so we're going to have a special new contributor to the show, and so let's take a look at what you're going to be seeing.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Cocktail of the Week with your host, PJ. Now, let's watch PJ put together another fabulous cocktail.
So for those of you who are not familiar with Paul from PJ Slots and Entertainment, make sure that you check out his channel. He does slot videos, he does vlogs, he does live streams. He is out there constantly involved in the Vegas world, and has been a huge help to this channel and to me personally, and we're excited to have his regular contribution to this show. So I think it's going to be fun. Cocktail of the day, cocktail of the week, I should say. Speaking of the cocktail of the week, it is a Friday night we're recording this, so of course we're having a Budweiser, the official American lager of vloggers everywhere. A lager for vloggers? Anyway. So hey, might be a little rough around the edges at times, but we'll try to take the edge off. So that's our housekeeping notes. Excited to have PJ on board, and obviously keep an eye out for those new vlogs. Mark's first vlog is already out, so check it out for sure. Now it's time for our news of the week. I don't know that this really qualifies as the news of the week. It's been something we've known about for, well, we've known about it for quite some time, and there have been reports about it coming in certainly over the last several weeks. But the NFL draft is being held in Las Vegas this year, and it promises to be a zoo. I mean, there won't actually be animals there, though there will be lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. But there will be an estimated 400,000 people descending upon the city. NFL fans are crazy. Go football. So that's going to be taking place April 23rd through April 25th. So if you're looking at the calendar and you're deciding, oh, gee, I'd like to go to Vegas in sometime in April, maybe, unless you want to be there for the draft, you might want to avoid those dates. The Strip is actually going to be shut down between Harmon, which is the street that runs immediately south of Planet Hollywood, right across from City Center, all the way up to Spring Mountain Road, which is the road that runs to the north of Treasure Island. So that whole section is going to be closed off to vehicular traffic over those 3 days. I don't know if that's 24/7. I have not heard that report, but so it's not going to be the easiest time to get around, particularly, well, I don't care if you're in a car or walking. With that many people in town, it's going to be a bit of a crazy thing. That sounds like a New Year's Eve, CES kind of numbers. And as a general rule, I try to avoid those. Now, some of the things we're hearing about the draft, and I think they're just throwing out these wild trial balloons. I heard there might be skydivers. I don't know. What are the teams going to have a designated skydiver who drops onto the Strip and delivers the draft pick? I don't know. Maybe. They were talking about having a stage set up in Lake Bellagio and of ferrying out probably just the first round picks in the draft to that stage across the lake. So I got to tell you, it should be something really interesting to watch on TV from some distance. So unless you love big events like that, and some people love it out there when it's like that, myself, I tend to avoid it. So if you want to avoid some madness, you might want to skip the 23rd through the 25th. But if you're a big fan of the NFL draft, you might want to be there because it certainly sounds like it's going to be something to see. And I guess that kind of qualifies as a Vegas tip, but it's not our Vegas tip. The trick of the week, that's coming up next. This week's Vegas tip or trick of the week, it comes from our friend PJ again. He sent me a message earlier in the week, and when I first looked at it, I thought, well, obviously, and then I started thinking about it, and it's not so obvious, apparently. There's a lot of myths surrounding the players' cards that you get at the various casinos. People think if they play with the card in the machine, somehow it's going to ruin their good fortune, that the casinos can monitor it and shut the machine down. They have some magic guy back in the booth, like the Wizard of Oz, that's pulling all these chains, and it's not that way, okay? So please don't fall for the myth that if you use a player's card, you're not going to win. It doesn't matter. The casino could care less whether you play with the card or not, but you should care if you do. But not everybody does. I was at a local casino a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people not playing with a card. I watch Vegas vlogs, and these are like the sort of craziest Vegas fans out there. I watch Vegas vlogs, and I notice people playing without their card in the machine. I constantly hear, how do I get a better deal on a hotel room? How do I get free stuff? How do I get the best treatment in Las Vegas? Well, you got to use your player's card. And it seems so obvious. I've repeated it over and over again, but apparently some people aren't doing it. So if you're not doing it, do it. I know people with relatively modest budgets, certainly not high rollers, a few $100s a day, that are getting complimentary rooms, food and beverage credits, that are getting free play, more than you would expect. And it's just because they're consistently using that card. Now, there's only one case where you might not want to use your card. Let's say you have a casino that you regularly frequent, and you usually spend several hours a day playing there. You have great room offers, maybe even have a host. You just want to go in and play 20 bucks. Okay, don't use your card, because the way comps are figured is based on an average daily theoretical, based on basically the amount of money you're wagering each and every day, and you want that number to stay high. So that's the only case where you might not want to use your card, but otherwise use your card. That's a simple, basic Vegas tip, but it's also our tip of the week. Now, let's talk about one of the oldest and still one of the best hotels in Las Vegas, right next. Okay, this week's Vegas Resort Hotel Casino featured is going to be Harrah's. It's one of those casinos that kind of falls through the cracks. Everybody knows it's there, you walk through it, but you don't really think about it. Certainly not amongst the best of the best, and it's because, you know, it's a middle-of-the-road place. It's a working-class casino. You know, the rooms are pretty basic, though I think most all of them have been remodeled and they're nice. You know, it's a full-service casino. Of course, you have your typical Caesars odds, so, you know, maybe it's not the best place to play. It's not one of my favorites, but I really think a lot of times that's based upon what kind of luck you have. I haven't necessarily had a great deal of luck at Harrah's, but again, you can find all your basic games here. There's a lot to do at Harrah's. Got a number of bars. The piano bar I find is a great deal of fun. Big Elvis appears there. They have karaoke almost every night, at which I have been a featured performer on many occasions. No footage available. They have the very popular Carnival Court Bar just outdoors with you know, flair bartenders. They have, you know, a dance floor. They have a stage. It's a fun place to hang out. I've done it in the past with friends. Certainly, you know, a good place if you're not necessarily looking for that hardcore club scene. Lots of food options. Of course, your basic buffet. You've got the Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Gets good marks. You know, you got the Toby Keith Bar and Grill if you're down for some southern cooking and some country and western music. It's there. You've got one of the most unique food courts in the city, the Fulton Street Food Affair. A little overpriced. Not the best place in the world to eat, but there's a lot of variety. Again, great place. If you're with a half a dozen different people, you're all looking for something different. You know, they got a little bit of everything available there. A lot of shows at Harrah's. One of the longest running shows in Las Vegas, an afternoon show, Mac King. Also a good show for the whole family, but surprisingly enough, hilarious. Mac is a, you know, a consummate performer. Definitely check him out. A lot of times you can get free tickets or very discounted tickets. A good show. You got Tape Faces appearing there. One of my favorite comedians, John Caparulo, is appearing at Harrah's. And they usually have a couple of other sort of stage shows of some sort. I'm not sure what's there right now, but it changes pretty frequently. So, I mean, Harrah's, again, it's a middle-of-the-road casino. It's not the fanciest place. It's still got kind of the low ceilings. You know, it's a little bit retro. It feels a little bit like downtown once in a while. But I will say I think Harrah's has some of the friendliest staff anywhere, and I think that's actually sort of a Harrah's hotel culture that probably goes back even prior to the whole Caesars, Harrah's, you know, those companies all coming together, because I go to Harrah's casinos in several different places, and I've seen that sort of same culture of hospitality and helpfulness and friendliness. So, and I think that's one thing that brings a lot of customers back, because they just have some very loyal customers, you know, even some high rollers who consistently return to Harrah's. So definitely worth checking out. It may or may not be the place for you, but as I say, there's a lot to eat, a lot to drink, a lot to do. So it's definitely worth checking out. The next time you're walking by, you might want to walk in. Well, that's going to wrap up our show for this week. We will be back again with a video on Wednesday. Back next week with a brand new show with our brand new contributor. If you're interested in being a part of the Vegas Tips and Tricks program, remember, I'll put the email address up again. Contact me, jrswift at vegastipstricks.com. Let me know what you'd like to do, and we'll have more contributions from more viewers just like you. Until then, hope that you have a great and lucky week. We will see you soon.